Frontline with Kortney Kenny, and I'm Tom Parisi, and today we got a great set of guests. It's another episode of the Frontline podcast. I'm Tom Parisi. He's Kortney Kenny. We're joined by number 8 on the ice, assistant captain with your North Bay Battalion, Avery Winslow. Avery, we're sorry to hear about the Rays. Just wasn't meant to be. What with the Red Sox getting lucky, so to speak. We'll call the umpires what they are. But I want to get right into it. Let's talk about going to NHL camp with the Lightning this year. Didn't have to go too far from home, which is fantastic. Let's talk about it. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience to be able to, go to my first NHL camp and be able to watch guys like Kucherov, Hedman, Sergachev, guys like that. It was honestly, sounded too good to be true. Like it was just a great experience, and I loved everything about it.
When you get to those camps and you see those guys doing what they do and all that stuff, is there like a moment of, oh my God, I have so far to go? Or is it like, you know what, I'm almost there?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? Like you see guys like Kucherov and those guys on the ice, obviously the things they can do are incredible. But you kind of look at it as, wow, like I'm here, like I'm kind of like I'm in the mix now, like I know I can do it. Type of thing, and you jump back and forth, but you definitely feel both in the head.
When it comes to
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when it comes to camp, what's it like trying to like soak up all that? No, I mean they're called Tampa Bay for a reason, right? So what's it like soaking up all that experience and trying to learn from their coaches and the players?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, like the things I got to learn and like see guys that are taking care of their bodies day in and day out, like just the little things like the winning mentality that they had. It was really cool to see and be able to kind of soak up all that.
Who looked a lot better in person than they do on TV, on the ice?
Ooh, I mean, Hedman on the TV looks like, obviously he's unreal, but like in person you really see and you're like, holy cow, like this guy's good.
I gotta ask, when you first get the invitation to go to camp, what's the thoughts that go through your mind when, hey, an NHL team wants to take a closer look at me?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I think everyone would be exciting, especially for me. It's my hometown team, so it was definitely a cooler experience for me to be able to put on that jersey of the team I've always watched, and just it was honestly an unreal moment for me.
How do you feel about what, Kortney? You go this time for sure.
I went the last time. Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, how do you feel about your baseball team splitting time in Montreal?
Oof, it's a tough subject. I don't want to talk about
it. That's fair.
Don't want to lose them.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people up here that would be pretty happy to see it happen.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. They'd get good crowds in Montreal.
Wow. Have you taken in many games at the Trop?
Yeah, I've been to quite a few. Even when I was at Tampa's camp, I went to one with all the boys. So definitely go to a good amount of baseball games at the Rays games.
Is it as bad as they say? The facility.
I mean, yeah. Like if you compare it to other MLB arenas, yes. But I don't know. It's not that bad.
Did you know that your assistant coach, Billy Holder, when he played for the Lightning, played at the Trop? That's where they played?
Yep. I heard that. Yeah. I think he actually told me that.
I wanted to ask, though, when it comes to on the topic of Tampa Bay, on the ice and maybe off the ice, but did you grow up a Lightning fan, or were you a fan of other teams and they just happened to be your hometown team?
No, they kind of got my whole family into the game of hockey. Just when they won the cup in 2004, my brother started playing, and then it kind of trickled down. So they were always the team from the start. Always loved them. So they were definitely the team I always cheered for.
I know you were a kid, but that 2004 cup winning team, how big was it for hockey in Florida?
I mean, even for my family, it sparked everything. So I can't imagine how many other families it kind of sparked something in. But I definitely think it helped a lot in the city.
What are you like? Who would, if you had to pick a player from that 04 team or even throughout Tampa's history as your favorite player, who would you pick?
I mean, that's a tough question. Man, I mean, I always liked watching, especially in the 2004 was Ruslan Fedotenko. I heard his name a lot and saw him a lot in the 04 team. So he was a name that always kind of stuck out.
That's not who I would have guessed. So I applaud
Not at
you for
all,
that.
but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a cop out, like a Brad Richards or a Marty St. Louis or something.
No.
Really appreciate that. So as a hockey fan, because we're suffering Leafs fans, as a hockey fan, what's it like watching? Yeah, what's it like watching your team? While you've seen them hoist the cup 3 times in your life, but back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Obviously, like all my buddies went to all the parades and everything. Unfortunately, I was on the other side of Florida, so I didn't get to any of the parades. But just to be able to see everyone kind of rallying around like the game of hockey when they win is really cool to see in the city, because I didn't get to see a lot. But now that my friends are older and everything, and everyone's going to those parades and stuff, you really get to see everyone kind of coming around the game of hockey, which is cool.
Well, it's kind of funny how Boston kind of had the monopoly of championships for a while, and now Tampa's becoming that way. Are you a big football fan? You like Brady and Gronk down there playing for the Bucks?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, them coming in made me watch the Bucks a little bit closer, but they went on a pretty bad couple of years, so I didn't watch them a whole lot. But now that they're kind of up on the brings again, I like watching Brady. How do you not like watching that guy?
I really enjoyed his toss during the parade there of Lombardi Trophy from boat to boat. That was the part that made it for me.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So moving to a bit more locally for us, anyways, to North Bay. What was it like finally getting back into the Bay? I know you'd only had a cup of coffee with them after your trade from London before getting injured, but finally getting up here after Tampa's camp.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a long year and a half. Just training every day, kind of doing the same routines. It's not easy, but being able to come back to some of my teammates who I haven't seen in so long, it was such a great feeling. The first day I got back, we actually went out and hit the golf course a bit, so it was definitely a good way to come in, and I love be able to go back with all the boys.
Who's the best? Who's the best golfer out of your little friend group?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Stevie's pretty good. Who else? I think Russ and Jackson are pretty good, and Cozy I think is pretty good too.
So who
needs the most help then?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I might be on that list. I might be on that list. I'd say I know Joe cannot putt. Joe needs some close game work for sure.
So it's all in the hips, isn't it?
Yeah, all in the hips.
So is Joe the type of person that you'd be confident playing for money on each hole against?
Sorry, say that again.
Is Joe the type of golfer that you'd be confident playing for money on each hole then against?
Yeah. I'd say probably him. Yeah, I've never actually golfed with him, but from everything I've heard, yes.
I love it. That's fantastic. Have you obviously getting a cup of coffee up here and then not really being back? I assume you haven't really gotten to hit many of the golf courses locally, though.
No. Osprey was I think the first one I've gone to here actually.
Oh, how was it the day you went?
It was okay. The weather wasn't great. Like it was a little cloudy, a little cold, but it was still nice to be able to get out there and get a game of golf in.
So you get here, you get to North Bay, and they're gonna slap an A on your jersey. And again, only really getting a cup of coffee with the team before, and coming in and then everything happening. What's it like, knowing that they trust you enough to put a letter on your jersey?
Yeah, I mean it means a lot to be able to be part of that leadership group. I think I'm excited. I think we have a really good team this year, and I'm just happy to be able to have a leadership role with them, even if it was with a letter or without one. I think I would have played the same role, but it does mean a lot to get that A on my jersey for sure.
Well, let's talk about the start of the season. We got 3 games in, 2 wins, 1 loss, and a big comeback win against the Sudbury Wolves. How do you like the team so far after 3 games? What needs some improvement?
I think yeah, all around. Look, it's first got time guys have been playing in a year and a half. A lot of guys, it's their first time playing OHL hockey. So I mean, it's just the little things that will kind of shape themselves out. The more games you play, the more you kind of figure things out, and you can get rid of all those little mistakes. But I think we got a really good team, and I think we're really going to pull ahead here.
I know when it comes to Sudbury, there's been a lot of hype made up about Quentin Musty after getting out on the ice and defending against him. What was that like? How's it defending against a first overall pick like him?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a good player. That definitely was a hard shot. I know I blocked one of his shots on the power play. Definitely bruised the hand a bit, so he can definitely shoot a puck. But yeah, he's a good player.
How good does it feel though it's your first meeting out of I think it's 12, which is insane.
12, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely insane. But to come back and take the 2 points from Sudbury like that, how good of a feeling is that when you're on the ice there?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are big points. I know it's just 2 points, but even early in the year, those points add up later on. So I think that's a big 2 points, and we definitely want to win that series against them.
You got a game coming up on Friday against the Mississauga Steelheads. What are you guys preparing for? What are you guys hoping to? I know you're hoping for a win, but what are you guys looking? What are you going to run into?
Yeah, I mean, we'll start studying the film and everything this week. I know we're kind of just trying to refresh our heads a little bit here on this off day. Get ready to get back and be hungry. So we'll definitely start to look into Mississauga here tomorrow and later on this week.
I wanted to ask with the games, I know it's early and everything, but in the 2 home games, there have been 3 shorthanded goals against, and as somebody who's on the power play, what do you think you guys can do to kind of minimize that a little bit better?
I think just be more simple. You don't have to, make that nice sauce pass across the seam. Instead, you can kind of just work it around a little bit and just keep it simple. I think if we keep it simple, we'll be good.
Your goaltenders have both got into games this year. How was rookie DiVincentis, his first game? I know it was a loss against the Sioux. It was a tough game, but your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Dom battled hard in that game. I mean, I don't think we could have blamed him for that game at all. He kept pushing. I mean, they called a tough call where it definitely did not go in the net, but they said it did. So he kept battling through that and kept kicking after that too, which meant a lot.
There have been, and I think that's kind of interesting because there have been a lot of mishaps I found so far with some of the officiating, but some people need to remember too, these guys have also been off for 18 months as well, right?
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's tough. Everyone's so quick to judge everyone, it's not easy for them too. So you gotta kind of understand that too.
So getting into more games against divisional rivals and whatnot. Well, actually, I got to ask, how was it? I know it's almost a week ago now, but that first puck drop against Peterborough, what was the nerves like before the game? How was the anticipation?
I mean, it's still, even the first game, it even felt like my first game in the OHL. Like, just you're so excited to play, and it's almost like it doesn't always go your way because you get a little too excited, and then next thing you know, they're coming right at you. So it's kind of, you try to kind of keep your momentum in check and not get too excited, not get too high, not get too low. So.
Well, I mean, that game against Peterborough, it was 4-4 after the first period. Is that that's insane? What's that like being out there and it's, goals after goals after goals?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first game. I mean, it's kind of expected for it to kind of go not the way it usually does, but it was definitely an intense game and going back and forth, it was fun.
Matvei Petrov gets a hat trick in his first OHL game. I mean, how'd you guys celebrate after?
Oh, I mean, that guy's got a lot of skill. He's going to be an exciting player to watch for sure. But he was excited. The boys were excited for him. It was really cool to see.
When you guys get someone like Petrov or Lucan, I know his English has really come along, but how tough is it to communicate with somebody whose English isn't really their first language, even on the ice, not just off the ice, but on the ice as well?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of figure it out. You just you gotta be a little simple with them and use different things than just words. You kind of got to draw things up for them or show them in different ways. But they're really good at trying their hardest to, understand everything. And, it's hard for them too. So you got to look at it that way and just kind of work with them on it.
How are they adjusting?
Good. I think they both fit in really well. And I think they're going to be exciting players this year too.
One of the last I have for you here, back to the leadership question. How does that meeting go when you get pulled in and get told that you're going to be wearing a letter?
I mean, it's just kind of everyone knows what you're supposed to do. Obviously, me, Arnie, and Cozy and Russ have really gotten to know each other over the last, I guess you could say, 2.5 years now. But we really have a good group, and we're excited with our leadership group this year. We all get along well, and we just want to lead by example and just be good vets for all the guys that are coming in for their first year.
Well, that's alternate captain of your North Bay Battalion, Avery Winslow. Avery, we really appreciate the time, and good luck this Friday against Mississauga, and then Sunday right back at it.
Yep. Thank you. And thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Thank you to Avery Winslow for being our most recent guest here on the Frontline podcast. Again, I'm Tom Parisi. He's Kortney Kenny, and 3 games in the books, 2-1. We're ready for that start. 2 wins at home. They have been nail biters each and every one of these games. There's been something going on in any of them. So, hey, the drama's back. Hockey's back. We're happy to see it. So let's go to the most recent game. We'll start with the Sudbury Wolves game. Kortney, you were there. You saw them. Break it down for us. What you like, what you didn't like, and what you're hoping to see change against Mississauga on Friday night.
Well, first and foremost, you can't talk about the game and not talk about. He came out on the losing end, but Mitchell Weeks, the goaltender of the Sudbury Wolves, my goodness, he's going to be absolutely outstanding. He made some 10 bell saves. Brandon Coe, I remember on the broadcast even saying, like, he's going to go home and have nightmares tonight with the amount of chances he's had and couldn't get it past Weeks, and then finally
at least
did.
He scored one.
Yeah, he could have had 4 or 5 in the game. Like, I'm not joking. And yeah, Weeks was there to bail out his defense and everything in front of him. And my goodness, he made some great saves. And then eventually they just got to him in the third period. But that's the first thing I have to say. One thing I would like to see improved, and I've talked to Coach Ryan Houlihan post game about this, and we mentioned it with Avery earlier. Shorthanded goals. 3 in 2 games at home so far. That's not good enough. Like you need to step that up a little bit. And I mean, the first one was, the first 2 were because of a 5-minute major against Alex Lucan, who I maintain that, I mean, it was a scary incident for the Peterborough Pete's player, but I don't think Lucan intended it whatsoever. He just kind of stood his guy up at the blue line, and things happen in the game of hockey. Things happen so fast, as you and I know, and many people listening this know. But yeah, no, that's something that really needs to be fixed, and I think Coach Julie is very aware of that situation, and he's doing what he can to fix it, and that's what that was one of the things he circled as well. Things I really like, this offense is really fun to watch. Oh my goodness, we knew they were going to score. Maybe we didn't know they were going to score 7 in their first game against Peterborough, let alone 4 in the first period, but they're pretty good. And there's some guys that, they're slowly finding their way. You got to remember, a lot of these guys are only 3 games into their OHL career, and they're slowly figuring out the tempo. They're slowly getting to that point where they're going to be able to start doing something. I mean, Dolan Wakely himself had a couple of great passes, picking up his first point there against Sudbury. Ty Nelson's looked great. A lot of the rookies have looked good, like Sema, Outwater. It's going to come, and when it comes, it's going to be hard to stop.
I love it. The defense, a little bit shaky, but so far, Ty Nelson's been tearing it up offensively. What have you liked?
My God, I don't want to say he's Erik Karlsson in his prime, because Erik Karlsson in his prime is pretty unbeatable. But if you remember watching that cup, or well, not the cup run, but the playoff run they went on, where they made it to, they were 1 goal away from the Stanley Cup final, and then they lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins on that Kunitz overtime winner. He was making stretch passes galore, and Ty Nelson, he's making these stretch passes, and you're like, how did he even see that guy? Like, no one else in the rink has seen this guy, but Ty Nelson's got him tape to tape. Boom, he's got him. And then the thing that's also impressive about him is he's always in or around the right position that he needs to be in. And if he's not, he's quick to get back and able to fix that. So he's not really losing much from his defensive game by jumping in and doing things offensively. And when he does, he has Tanias Mathern in the back there who's holding down the fort. That's been their pairing so far this season. And he has the confidence of Tanias Mathern, who's just a rock solid addition to that pairing.
Wouldn't shock me if by season's end that was one of the top pairings. Wouldn't shock me in the slightest.
I wouldn't either. And you know what? The first game, it was their first line of Petrov, Jackson, and Co. and Winslow and Rosa started the game. Second game was their at home here was their second line of Curry, Arnsby, and Alex Christopoulos with Nelson and Mathern starting. So they're still
okay.
So it is kind of like the battalion of two top pairings. It's kind of nice.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
So on that note, how have you liked the line combos you've seen in person so far?
I've liked them a lot, actually. There's some, you still kind of think back to the COVID shortened year, which 18 months ago or whichever. And you still think of Arnsby as, he's the third line guy still because he's a rookie. And you still think of Curry as that bottom six guy and all this stuff. And Alex Christopoulos fighting for ice time. And now they're on the second line and they're humming. They're going pretty good. Arnsby's been excellent as the captain so far, and excellent with Curry. I think Curry's got 2 goals in the 2 home games so far. And the one goal that he scored 2 on one shift, but they took away one. On the power play. They called it back, but he just went out there promptly and got another one. But the hit, it was funny because the Peterborough player's coming through the center of the ice. Arnsby stands him up, knocks him down, gets the puck, passes it to Curry. Curry goes in and just, wires it past Ty Austin for Peterborough. And I was like, that's the most Liam Arnsby-esque assist you'll ever see in your life. Like, like, come on. It's so on point for him. But yeah, so the line combos have been great. I mean, they just put up a graphic as of today's recording about that top line has been humming. I mean, Ko's got 6 points. Petrov's got 4 or 5, sorry. I think Jackson's up there at 5 and 6 as well. Like, the line combos have been working. And then one of the last lines, that the bottom 6 is really almost all rookies. Christian Stevens is playing on the wing on the 4th line. He's essentially, at this point, he only has like 17, 18 OHL games to his name before the season. And then the 3rd line is Wakely, centered or surrounded by Sema and Van Steensel. So they're a rookie, and they don't look out of place either as a bunch of rookies either. It's the line combos have been neat. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Uli does if he has to mix things up, because so far so good.
I think the steal of the NHL draft so far is a 6th-round pick by the Edmonton Oilers named Matvei Petrov. I saw those goals, unfortunately, just through highlights and whatnot, but he looks like he's got like this much room to shoot, and he's finding the holes. He's getting lucky, and it's something Battalion fans haven't seen from an import player in a long time.
No, they've needed something this electric from an import player, like desperately. They needed that shot in the arm. I mean, in your years, it was Max Kisslinger and Adam Thielander were the 2 guys. And that first year, Thielander was kind of shaky. Kisslinger was more of a defensive specialist. And then they traded Kisslinger, and then Thielander kind of figured things out the next year, but never to this level. And then, I mean, Praplin was the last real goal scorer import guy they had, and he only had, I think, 20 or so that first year. And then Henriksen was a gritty guy as well. But to have Matvei Petrov, who can shoot like this, and we've heard it from Adam, we've heard it from Ryan. Both of them have said this kid likes to shoot, and he's proven it so far. And he's got a deadly shot. I mean, you'll look at him and you'll be like, "There's no way he's going to get that puck off in the next thing." Oh my God, it's in the back of the net. Like, where did that come from?
I love the celebration, holding up the 3-2.
Yeah,
loved it.
Yeah, I actually I talked to him post game. He did a quick little interview, and he was very happy, very excited to be here, and
Naturally.
Naturally, and did not expect 3 goals in his OHL debut, and he was very excited to get going. And again, English, fantastic! I can't believe it.
Well, next game is Friday night at the Gardens, 7 o'clock, Mississauga. It's not the best of Mississauga teams this year, but they can score a lot of goals too. Like I feel like we're in for another barn burner, like 7-7. Nothing against the defense and Joe. Joe needs to get his glove hand together. It's mismatched. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that equipment there, Joe. If you're listening to this, we're calling you out. You got to get that at green or something going on there. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But on the bright side, the performance of the glove hand has been there, so we'll take that.
That it has.
He's been snagging them like Marcus Semien at second base for the Blue Jays or something. So, no, yeah, I think it might very well be a high scoring affair, and I think it's going to be a fun time at the Gardens. I mean, it is a fun time at the Gardens just because hockey's back and it's not a vaccination clinic anymore. So, which is always a plus. But yeah, it definitely has the potential to go that way. The Sudbury game was a little bit different to the Peterborough game, just real quick, because of how defensive it was. I mean, there were still offensive opportunities here and there, but it was really clamped down compared to. I hadn't obviously seen them in the Sioux, but a couple of nights prior against Peterborough, where it was just kind of like, okay, go out there and do whatever you want for the first 20, and then they clamped it down for the last 40. So.
Hey, that's how you learn to win, right? You got to learn how to shut things down, and that's the best way to learn. And hey, that's win number 1 out of 12 against them. So That's all you need to do. Win 12 of those and see how it goes.
Hey, if you win 12 of those, that probably guarantees Sudbury's probably not making the playoffs. Because think of how big those points are that you're stealing from your divisional opponent. Like, every game this year is going to be huge because it has that what's the term, the 4-point game or whatever it is, right? Like, you've taken.
Well, hey, 2 divisional opponents in a row now on Friday and Sunday. Barrie's the next game, 2:00 in the afternoon at the Gardens.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be so important to start on time and to get the goals you need and timely saves. And I have no doubt, they're going to iron out the kinks. They always are, but I feel like they're ironing them out much faster than I expected. Because free for all against Peterborough, a typical Sioux game where nobody likes playing in the Sioux just because it takes forever to get here. And then clamping it down against the Wolves. Good. It's a good start. Hey, 2 out of 3 is not bad.
No, absolutely. Especially when I think usually when Brian Floyd at the home openers announcing the new players when they first come out, it's usually getting to the far side, offside face-off dot is usually where the new players end up. No, it was like 3/4 of the way across. So I mean, to take 2 out of 3 in your first 3 OHL games in the OHL is pretty impressive. I got to ask though, to you though, just living in the Sioux, what's the buzz? What's the word on the Greyhound so far?
People can't wait. People are just clamoring for it. They've been waiting for so long. They're happy to be there. They're basically breaking down the doors to get in and watch. It's a sight to behold. They had a block party to start the game. They blocked off right in front of the arena, and they wore those god-awful 50th anniversary jerseys, though. Those were ugly.
Yeah, I agree.
I've not gone to a game yet. I hope to get to one soon, but holy jumping. People here, they can't wait to go to like a cafe and talk about it after, or like 3 days after, or now probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just the talk. Well, I mean, I remember when I went there and it was playoff time and just the buzz around them in the playoffs, and that was the first round. Let alone waiting this long to get going. I'm sure the Sioux is just absolutely painted red right now. Hopefully they don't wear those god awful 50th anniversary jerseys too often, because I saw pictures of them. I was like, maybe not.
I always thought they should get rid of like the Detroit Red Wings kind of look-alike jersey and kind of branch out on their own. But hey, they do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, that's good to hear. OHL is back and now full capacity rinks too, which is great. So we're getting there.
Hey, I'm happy to see the fans back as much as they can, as long as everybody's being safe. Then
absolutely,
more power to them.
Absolutely, get your popcorn, get your pop, go and enjoy a good game. maybe even a little bit of a tall boy or something, but go and enjoy the game.
Hey, you listen to Kortney. He'll hook you up. He knows how to enjoy a game properly.
Oh, do I ever? Except for that time, the first time going to the Sioux when I couldn't get money out of the ATM and I had to keep walking around the rink. Missed like
Oh,
the
that
first half of the
yeah.
game.
We went to the game. They lost 8-2 to Ottawa.
Hey, I still had a good time when I watched, so I was like, oh, this is fun. Whatever.
Anyhow, Battalion play again on Friday, Mississauga at the Gardens. Be there, be square. Or Sunday against the Barrie Colts, 2 o'clock. And if you're watching this on your TV, that's where you can watch your Battalion games too, and you can see the full versions of our podcasts on YouTube. And don't forget to tune into YouTube to listen to the game as well. If you can't make it on TV, if you prefer to listen like that, go for it. That's how I did it. It was easy and it's free. Go for it. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and our intrepid producer, Ben, always keeping us honest and making us sound fantastic. He's Kortney Kenny. I'm Tom Parisi. Game night Friday versus the Mississauga Steelheads. Be there, be square, because it's fun, and we're going to do it again sometime.